One of the things that the Great Lakes region does is we have a letter that we send out both to the recipient and to his spouse. And this is from Jim Gardner, who's the manager of the Flight Standards Division of the Great Lakes region. And it says, "Dear Mrs. Seno, the Federal Aviation Administration Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award is given to pilots in recognition of 50 years of aviation flight and service to the aviation community. We also understand that it requires the dedication and support of a very special spouse for that to happen. As a token of appreciation for your sacrifice and commitment in support of your husband's 50 years of dedicated service to aviation, Federal Aviation Administration and the Great Lakes Region FAST team would like to present you with the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Spouse Award." Here's your, oops, I'm sorry. This letter is also signed by Mr. Gardner, and it says, "On behalf of the Federal Aviation Administration, I will take great pride in presenting you the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award in recognition of your 50 years of aviation flying experience. This award was initiated by the FAA in honor of the Wright brothers who designed, built, and piloted the first powered airplane. In doing so, we are recognizing and honoring those individuals who have demonstrated professionalism, skill, and aviation expertise by maintaining safe operations for 50 or more years. Like you, they are pilots who have brought the future of aviation, brought the aviation industry forward for the enjoyment and benefit of future generations of men and women who will look to the skies. This award acknowledges your exemplary service, professionalism, devotion to the aviation safety, and recognition by your peers. I extend to you best wishes in your future endeavors." This one also has a personal handwritten note. It says, "Hi Lou, you may not remember me, but I used to work for you at your FBO in Lewis Lockport. If you get a chance, give me a call." Jim. So the Director of Flight Standards for the FAA. We actually have two awards. This is the actual presentation that's signed by the FAA Administrator, the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award, and then also we have a very nice plaque that commemorates that event. Is there anyone else that would like to make any comments or statements, good or otherwise?
You've got to introduce a straight family.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have someone, yeah, that would be great. If Lou Jr. would do that, I would certainly appreciate it.
Well, thank you. That was very nice. We thank the administrator and the FAA and you, and I know I speak for the entire family. Very, very nice, and we're truly all honored. So let's see, might we have, let me start with my sister, Ginny. Ginny and your family, the Smenoses, raised their hand. And my brother Sal, who you saw in the picture. And there's one more of us, our sister Lucia, and she's in Florida, could not be with us today. And Lou's got a couple of brothers here. Sebastian, his older brother, who was my boss for many, many years in the family business. And then my Uncle Sal, who here, he taught me how to play golf. So, and let's see, who else am I? Cousin Donald, you saw his picture in there. Donald was very involved. Don, where are you and your wife Tommy? And Tommy's mother. Don flies a Starduster out at Poplar Grove. Don was very involved in many of our projects and logged in a lot of time. Don and I have a lot of flying time together as young guys running around the country, building time in Cessna 150s and 172s and flying to Oshkosh and scaring ourselves more times than I can remember. Let's see, who else do we have? We have the Molinaro family. All the Molinaros, raise your hand. And my mother is a Molinaro, and they've been kind of watching our aviation craziness for all these many years. So thank you all for coming out. So let's see, who did I miss? And then Dusty. Dusty's been part of the family for many years, and Ann Smenos. Ann is local. Ann is my sister Ginny's lovely Greek mother-in-law. And thank you for being with us. So, and, you know, as I look around the room, I see guys like Arnie, Carl, and you know, many of you, and I, you know, this is a great aviation community here at Lewis. So I want to thank all of you for supporting Lou out here for all these many years, and this was really great. So really, I want to thank you on behalf of the family for being here. This is truly very special. Special thanks to Jim, because I think Jim was the guy who, actually, you were the guy who sort of got this started. So, and you know, Jim and Arnie, when we restored the Ace, and after Lou quit flying it, I think Arnie and Jim are the only two guys that really flew it, right?
When I finished restoring it for the last time, I realized I don't have the strength to fly it. I could even take all the fuel caps off because of my arthritic hands. And we were at lunch one day, and Arnie's over and says, "I'll test fly that airplane for you." I said, "You will? You're a brave man. Lou, we know you and your airplane." So Arnie test flew it out of Brookridge Airport, takes off on runway 27 and disappears. He was having so much fun flying, he forgot to come back. Scared the living bejesus out of me. So that took care of the test flight. And Jimmy here, he volunteered to do the 10 hours that the FAA requires you to do within 25 miles of your home airport. Normally they give you 25 hours, but they gave me 10 because they knew I was old man and been through it before. So Jimmy put on the 10 hours, and after that he was also kind enough to give me 2 rides in my own airplane because I couldn't fly it anymore. And I have the utmost thanks for those 2 gentlemen.
I had more fun flying that airplane than you could possibly imagine. It was a treat for me. I've been asked a few times about younger pilots wanting some words of wisdom that they can use to fly for this long, safely and legally. And I've kind of boiled it down to 3 basic tenets that you should remember. Rule number 1, when in doubt, don't. Okay, that's pretty simple. Rule number 2, don't do nothing dumb. Because the most often last words are, hold my beer and watch this. Okay? Rule number 3, never, ever, ever. Let me repeat that. Never, ever, ever, ever trust a weather forecast. What you see out the windshield supersedes all previous data. Keep those in mind. You fly for a long time. Thank you all for coming.
I have to take the time to thank all you wonderful girls and boys. I don't like to say ladies and gentlemen, it's too formal. So welcome all you girls and boys. I appreciate you coming out on the Labor Day weekend of all things. But I'm looking around here and see so many pilot friends. I don't want to mention anybody by name because then I'll forget some and I don't feel anybody slighted. But there are many people here who have helped me through my aviation career, stood behind me as my wife has, and I will be forever grateful for you gentlemen. Especially when I finally finished the last reconstruction of my airplane, and then I had the strength to put it together. So some friends from Chapter 15 took it over to Doc Bird's hangar, assembled it, and we got to fly it. So again, I thank you ever so much for coming out on a nice Labor Day weekend, and have a nice day. And I'll be forever humble and grateful for your attendance.
I almost forgot. Chris Lawson said he wanted to present this. This is from the Joliet Region Port District, and it's a landing light. This would be the end of the runway light. It's green as you're coming toward it, and it's red if you're coming at it from the other side. No, that's not the one you hit. It says, from the Joliet Regional Port District, in gratitude for your special support in improving Will County's only corporate airport, with sincere appreciation from the Joliet Regional Port District directors and staff. That's pretty heavy, so be careful. And it lights up, too. It lights up, so you can put it on your desk.
Just to make something clear, the only reason I'm in a wheelchair, it's not because of my legs. I can walk very fine, but my lungs don't help me, so I can't walk around too much. But again, all I can say is thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm truly humble for your attendance. And I have to thank Mr. Sam Beater from the South Bend Visitor for putting this up. I didn't realize he was going to do a video show like that, but that worked out pretty good. Again, my humble thanks and my grateful to you, all of you. Thank you. I got to say one thing about my wife. When I met this lovely lady 65 and a half years ago, I had just started flying. So I called her and we decided to get married, and I said, don't forget, honey, I'm not going to quit flying. I'm just learning how. So she said to me, okay, I'll stand behind you. But of our four parents, who of course are all gone now, my mother and her dad drove her absolutely crazy. Get that crazy guy to quit flying. You got 2 kids now. Now you got 4, and it went on and on and on. So, as we saw in the video, when I had to take my flight test and do a spin, I had to go out and rent a parachute from Rupert Parachute. And it was just my luck. I'm taking a parachute in the house, not to have it still going on in my car, and her late father's looking out the window and sees the parachute. He said to Ida, that crazy guy, first he's learning how to fly, now he's going to jump out of airplanes? He backed her into a corner. Well, she got so upset, she come to me, honey, I got to tell you something. I can't take this anymore from your mother and my dad. It's either you're flying or the kids. So I said goodbye, and I walked out the door. 10 minutes later, I came back. I said, what did you promise me? She says, I gotten over it. You keep flying. But I can't thank her enough. She has been behind me, as my entire family has been. And what Lou Jr. forgot to mention, besides the fact that he happens to be an excellent pilot, flew a 55 Baron for years, and right now he's flying an F-33 Bonanza, I believe. But my other 2 children that are here, my other son Sal and my daughter Jenny, they both solo gliders out of Windy City when Windy City was flying out of, where was Windy City flying out of? Cloud. And so they both solid gliders. My son Sal started, Jenny went on to test solo in the 172, but then she decided to go to Bradley in Peoria College, and she said, Dad, there's 2 pilots in the family, is enough, I'm going to college. Good. But Sal continues taking his flight training in the 152, and then when we got invited with Civil Air Patrol, we got invited and introduced to that Varga Kachina, which looks like a miniature ET-6, and he falls in love with it. So on his examination day, he decides to take it in the Varga. I said, Sal, you've been doing all your great training at 52. Do yourself a favor, don't do it in the Varga. He says, I'm going up in the Varga. So up he goes. 5 minutes later, he comes back, thumbs up. So much for Dad's recommendation. He did a great job. But we've had a lot of fun flying as a family. But the most thing I want to say, I'm looking at all you lovely people out there There's one person I haven't seen yet, and I know is very, very close to me,